Good afternoon. Welcome back. It is Wednesday, August 16th, 2023. We have cross flags are out. We are past halfway in the month of August. So we've got 4.5 more months left of these daily birthday and event videos. And we have quite a few events today, so it makes up for lack of birthdays. So we'll go back to 1986 at Orange County Speedway, where Dale Jarrett won his first ever Busch Series race. So DJ was just really getting the footwork and getting a good foundation for the beginning of his NASCAR career there. Of course, it would be 1991 before he wins his first Cup race. So we're going to go to 1987. Now, the next three events, I was at all three, and they're kind of spaced out here a little bit. And all of them were at Michigan, because at the time, Michigan, well, except for the last one, Michigan was the closest track on the NASCAR circuit to me. So 1987, that was my first time ever going to Michigan. Bill Elliott won that race. It was an alright race. We were there the whole weekend. My dad, my brother, myself, we went up there. We had a small little tent, camped in the campgrounds across the street from the track. Was up there, I think, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for practice and qualifying, second round qualifying, and then the race. So that's how the 4 days went. And it was always so much fun to go up there and just, you had, there was a lot going on, a lot of activity on track. It was an all-day thing. Very different from the 1 and 2 day shows they put on today. The event, the race, I think they had a restart with a few laps to go, and Bill Elliott ended up passing Dale Earnhardt with about 2 laps to go. And it was a pretty good race, best I can remember, mind you. I was 11, and the seats were good. They were down in turn 1. Good view of the track. So, a lot of fun back then. 1992, my dad and I went back up there, again, camped out in the campground, but we had a fifth-wheel camper that we stayed in for a few days again. It was a Thursday through Sunday thing. This particular year, of course, the Busch Series ran up that year, and I believe the IROC cars may have been racing that year, too. But it was a full plate of events for 4 days. But Harry Gant won the race on gas mileage. And Michigan at the time was always typically a gas mileage race. Every once in a while you'd get a race where there was a caution with 30 or 40 to go and just change everybody's strategy. But generally Michigan was the track that people like Harry Gant, Darrell Waltrip, Ricky Rudd, a few others that always got good gas mileage were always going to, you could pencil them in for a top 3 or 4 finish because they were going to be there at the end. But this would also be Harry's last win in his Cup Series career. Of course, he would go on to finish 4th in the 1992 standings. 2009, went to this race. Brian Vickers won this race. This was the first of 2 wins that Red Bull Racing would have in their NASCAR time. This race was brutally hot, and I ended up leaving shortly past halfway because apparently at the time Michigan did not allow hard side coolers in. You could only bring in soft side or clear bags. So they gave me a bag for me to put my ice and my drinks in, and the ice melted in about 10 minutes. My drinks lasted for about 50 laps, and I just had to leave. It was miserable, it was not fun, and I didn't want to sit in traffic. Sit in the race for another hour and then sit in the traffic for the rest of the time. But Vickers won. I know Hornish was in the top 5. I believe Gordon and Dale Jr. and Jimmy Johnson. All I remember is I had a Yahoo Fantasy team, and I ended up getting the drivers that placed 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 5th in that race. So that was the best Yahoo week that I ever had. And our final event on this day in 2014, Chris Buescher wins his first ever Xfinity Series and then Nationwide Series race at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, driving for Jack Roush. Of course, he would become a champion of that series, and now is made the playoffs this year in the Cup Series for Roush with 2 wins to his credit this season. We only have 2 birthdays to celebrate. Born on this date in 1916, he passed away in 2003. He only made a handful of Cup starts between the 50s and the 70s, but he's more known for his ARCA tenure, where he is a multi-time winner and champion, Mr. Iggy Katona. Don't have any cards of him, so apologize, but there's only 2 produced, and he wasn't even featured on the cards. He was kind of one of the cars in the picture, and I may not even have one of those. Our other birthday, born on this date in 1997, I just briefly glanced at his Xfinity Series, it looks like he's made 95 career starts, hasn't made one in a few years, has 0 top 10s to his credit, but you look at the rides that he's had over the years, and that explains a lot. Mr. Vinnie Miller, who they're still putting in our sets to this day, I believe. So I don't know if this is like a thing. Nothing against Vinnie Miller, but he just he hasn't raced in a while, and they're still putting him in the card set. So I don't know if he's just got like a long-term contract where they just pay him a little bit of money. But look, I've got a start of a rainbow here for the 21 Donruss set. The orange, the gray, the blue, and the base. Got a nice looking optic there. Then we have a 20 is that a 20 or 21? That's a 21, the throwback variation, or the throwback part of the set, and then the variation there, the color. Then we have the Absolute out of Chronicles. Looks like they told him, make a mean face, Vinny. That's as mean as Vinny gets there. And then we have another one out of Chronicles, which is Pedal to the Metal, and he looks happier there. Don't even know, they don't have a picture of his car on any of these. So I think he's raced for BJ McLeod and a few other teams in the Xfinity Series. Maybe Mike Harmon Racing, that sounds right as well. I just, drivers like him, I would love to see them get a chance at a... It doesn't even have to be a top ride. It doesn't have to be a Penske or a Roush or a Hendrick or a Junior Motorsports. It could be like what Brett Moffitt has with AM Racing. I think that is a car that has potential. The team that he was with, Our Motorsports, they had some potential. Jordan Anderson Racing, I think he's growing that into something that could be big in the future. So a lot of these drivers, I think, have potential. It's just digging it out and making it happen. So anyway, thanks again for watching. Make sure you come back tomorrow. I'm not sure if we're going to rip something or what we got on tap, but we'll have something for you tomorrow, as well as Fast Packs at noon. So make sure you come back for those. Thanks for watching.